getting ready to pop in their brackets, and it looks like we are underway. Alright, so Pentagrast pulling up, being a rogue, and Warlock?
Yeah, that is a Warlock deck. You can immediately tell by the tentacle summoning, the Forbidden Ritual. I know.
Okay. So based on kind of what we saw from Pilliwinks' opening hand, and just that immediate first hit, looks like he may be going for a little bit more of an aggro play. Seeing what's in his hand, it's kind of interesting. The Assassinate and the Defiance Ring that usually are indicative that he's probably going a little bit more tempo base, a little more potential aggro base as well. But from Pilliwinks, looks pretty standard zoo from what I can tell here.
Immediately throwing out the nasty 2/4 here.
Imp Boss.
The Imp Gang Boss, that was one of the cards that I could never use correctly, but he's got the combo out.
Yep,
Imp
Gang... the Juggle's not in his favor, and he's going to try for one more time here with the Forbidden Rituals. That's not a bad choice here. He didn't do it. He didn't take the chance.
Nah, he's going to save it for when he's got a few more mana crystals to use.
Unfortunately, he's going to definitely get kind of get blown out here by a backstab. And so now he's basically gonna be left with a 1/1 left on the board. Not the best position to be in, but I mean, I guess he is up on cards. His hand's quality is iffy at best.
A lot of fives, yeah.
Yeah, Pentagrast has got actually a decent amount of board clear here, but yeah, it's gonna be a little bit slower than I think he probably wants it to be from what I can tell. Dark Iron Skulker, very good piece of removal there. It's interesting he's playing two. A lot of rogue decks are going to be only playing, maybe one, if that. But you very rarely will ever see two shoved in the same deck. It does look like Pilliwinks here are going to get a nice, favorable exchange here, though, with a double wolf there. So.
Yeah, he is currently ahead in terms of tempo, in terms of board control.
But
he's got his second Skulker, which will put him back.
Really good tempo there. Unfortunately, the Pilliwinks hand's really not that great right now. He's really kind of looking for a Councilman, basically, to once he plays that Councilman, they can dump just 2 turns worth of Forbidden Rituals into it, just make it beefy and really hard to deal with. Five health generally is very hard to deal with. There's very few removal spells, like direct damage removal spells that will deal with it. But for Pentagrast, he is kind of lucky. He does have the double Assassinate in hand, which is also another very interesting choice. It's usually a card that's not hard. It's hardly ever played at all, at least in competitive ladder. But for tournaments, it's completely different mindset, completely different standpoint you have to go into with it. See if he chooses to Assassinate here or not. Looks like now he's going to save it. I think he knows that there's going to be some bigger threats to deal with. He's going to use those for. Nice clear of the Vananize. Ooh, that's interesting. Shadow Pan. Yeah, that one's definitely what I haven't seen. He's going to go for the RNG juggle here.
And lands it. Congratulations.
Pays off for him. He's going to dump 5. Doesn't want to wait for the Councilman. He's going to start getting... He saw his opponent use a Vananize, so he's probably safe in the clear here.
Yeah, because he's already used both of his Skulkers, which will clear the board. He's got one Fan of Knives. He's already used one Shiv.
Because a lot of direct damage is just gone. So.
And he's keeping his second Forbidden Ritual in his hand. That way, when Councilman shows up, or... Did he use both his Knife Jugglers already?
No, he only used one.
Then he's got one more.
He should be good. But the Shadow Pan Rider, actually, this is going to be kind of hard to deal with. It's very interesting, actually, that he didn't go for just the free kill on the Flame Juggler there. Double Defender of Argus, though, coming down for Pilliwinks. There's actually a very solid board. That's going to be really, really hard to deal with. The only thing shy of a Vanish. I don't think anything's going to be able to save him here. It's pretty much done.
Yeah, his options here are very, very limited.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try and desperation sprint and hope to get somewhere. Maybe he's running a
Preparation vanish?
Maybe he's
Even
running
preparation vanish wouldn't work, unfortunately.
No, prep vanish. He probably was hoping maybe a prep fan of knives, something along those lines, to be able to at least clear out the board. It would do it there. He's gonna be
out of luck.
Yeah, he's what 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, he's basically just on the dead zone here.
Ooh, with the sea giant last draw.
Nice, yeah. Let's see if he's not gonna be able to just go for the easy clean kill. So that's Pilliwinks going up a game with Zoo. Very interesting choice of decks there from Pentagrast, different interesting card choices. But yeah, Zoo is one of the most consistent decks that has ever existed in the game. It's one of those decks that has just been persistent and resilient throughout time. Zoo is a very it's a very strong contender today, and given yes the lists have changed ever so slightly, I think today it has a very strong contention, being one of the best Zoo lists that's been out there.
We are having a quick question come up because we've got 2 new heroes on the board instead of 1 keeping up. So you will need to give just 1 second.
Sure. Looks like we're having a little bit of a mix-up. Here, so we're probably gonna be doing a regame here ever shortly, possibly. We regaming or no?
No, we the game mode I am familiar with is Last Hero Standing.
Oh, okay. This is Conquest.
We are doing Conquest now, and
Gotcha.
that was entirely a new thing for me personally. So I apologize for that.
No worries. So it looks like on Pentagrast's side, it looks like he's going with the typical pirate like upgrade warrior, which is actually it's a very strong aggro deck. Basically, he wants to just curve out at Arcanite Reaper, play an upgrade, and just get 18 damage into the face with the Reaper. Very strong, very strong deck on ladder. Even it's very cheap. It's not a very expensive deck to make. There was Trump did a free to play with this deck, and he did pretty well with it.
How far did he go?
So last that I saw, I think he was sub 10 with it.
Okay.
Last that I saw, anyways. Looks like from Pilliwinks, just a pretty standard tempo mage deck. Nothing really too outrageous to speak of at the moment. Interesting choice to do the upgrade here, get the favorable trade, the free trade on the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Very smart idea, because that's going to be potentially pose problems later down the line if Pilliwinks happen to have the god hand of double mana worm plus. I mean, you probably would have seen that played out, but he could draw into a bunch of really solid options there. I think right now Pentagrast is actually just contemplating whether he wants to coin upgrade again, but it looks like he's going to save it. Probably just going to be an Arcane Intellect. Just draw a couple cards here for free from Pilliwinks. Pretty straightforward turn.
Yeah, putting on the Flame Maker would establish some form of control, but he doesn't have the spells to back that up yet.
Right. He's kind of worried at that point. He's worried at that point basically about his opponent saying, I don't care about this upgraded hook that I have. I'm just going to go Fiery War Axe, upgrade, kill your guy. And he just loses out on so much tempo there. Now, interesting choice here in the, what is that, the Axe Thrower?
Yeah, the 2/5 Axe Flinger, whenever this minion takes damage, deal 2 to the enemy hero.
Oh, interesting. So he's gonna combo it out with the Ravaging Ghoul. Okay, so that's pretty good. He's gonna get to deal 2 extra damage to his opponent, and he's getting in a decent trade, taking out the Azure Drake. Now plays here, potentially, I could see Thorson being fine, I could see Mana Worm, and then using this Forgotten Torch. He's going to opt to go with a Kabbalah's Tome. Not going to try and take as much advantage of the of the mana worm as he possibly can here. I think he's going to probably just hope to, you know, at least damage his opponent's minions a little bit more.
Well, and he may be charging up for his Flame Wakers that he does have, because he does have both of them in his hand.
True, yeah. The unfortunate thing right now is that he just dumped a 0 mana spell. I think he's kind of desperating in desperate measures here. He's kind of needing to hope that his opponent... Yeah, well, hope that his opponent didn't have another upgrade, because that's exactly what happened. Pentagrast is getting the free trade on the upgrade and establishing board presence. With the Obsidian Destroyer there, 7 mana puts a 1/1 in a taunt. It's the most annoying Hogger type effect that's out there right now.
I'm slightly surprised that he's got the this 7/7, because his board currently is his deck was using Revenant Ghoul for 1 and Axe Flinger, both of which are dealing damage to your own team.
Yeah, it's kind of the way to seal out the game. This normally starts out a super tempo or super like aggro type, getting decent trades with the damage of your own team and the AoE effects, but it does need a way to close the game out. And in the event of if he didn't have these 2 cards, the Mirror Entity,
very
the Mirror
good.
Entity, that's actually that's not bad. The Pilliwinks unfortunately really can't do too much about this. Shy of, he can go Flame Strike and trade into the board, which isn't bad. But he's very low on the life total right now. He kind of needs to, and he can't just let it live. If he lets it live, he gets he just takes 7 in the face. So yeah, he's gonna go ahead and trade that off there. Not a bad spot right now for him to be in. He does have the hand advantage, but there could potentially become a lot of pressure coming up from Pentagrast here. He probably still has 2 Core Crown Elites in his deck. He's probably got a couple of other weapons going on. Yeah, there's a lot of potential for Pilliwinks to just die here. Thorison and drawing 2 cards, not bad. He's going to get a very nice discount on all of his cards here, and he should be able to clean up the 2/6. Not really or a little difficulty there. But this is going to be probably a free trade here. He's probably going to...
he's opting for the board clear as opposed to lowering.
Okay, he's going to Revenge, and then he's going to draw 2 cards off of battle range, which is not bad. Not bad there. He does keep his Bloodhoof decently healthy. Unfortunately, he drew the Frothing Berserker a little bit late, but that being said, he's still decently. He's still sitting decent on the board right now. 7 health, not a good spot to be in. It looks like, though...
Here comes the spray combo.
Here comes the spray. So there are a couple of... He's got 6 mana to run with now. So he has the potential to run 3, 5, 6, 7... So he can run 4 spells out here. So the Forgotten Torch, the Fireball, and then the 2 Arcane Missiles in his hand to get a straight clear on the board. He's going to go with the Arcane Missiles first. No, he's not. He's going to just
Nope, he's
sub
going
the 4 damage. Forget it. Just deal with it. Personally, I would have probably liked to have gone with the Arcane Missiles first, because you have 4 missiles plus 4 juggles, so you have 8 chances to actually just deal 3 damage to the Bloodhoof. But I guess taking the safe route, not a bad.
Taking the safe route, and the only thing that really could have affected him was if Pentagrast had Brawl, which he had to take that chance, and it played out in his favor.
Usually, it's kind of decks. I mean, I guess it's probably not uncommon for Brawl to be a thing, but usually these kind of decks are not wanting to play Brawl. They're usually wanting to just hit as hard as they can, as fast as they can. Now, interesting choice to not go in for the trades there, and an interesting choice to not play the Armor Smith before he went and revenged. He would have at least gained an extra armor here, but it looks like, though... It looks like Pilliwinks is going to try to go for the RNG kill. He's going to have the double Flame Waker juggles plus the Arcane Missiles. It's kind of... he may not be able to get there depending on how the juggles go.
Missiles land.
And how the juggles go. There's 2 more juggles, so yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to get through. Oh,
yep, he's got
the one. So he's going to have basically 2 health. He needs a, Pentagrast needs a board clear here.
Nope.
He's basically used up all of his whirlwind effects. Oh yeah, no, there it is. There's the kill.
He's done.
Yeah, I forgot about the juggles.
Yeah, the juggles, if they had continued to land it on the armor smith the entire time, that still would have been only 4 armor. But he was able to secure the kill with the arcane blast, removing the armor smith before she could continue to heal.
Yeah, interestingly, looks like we're just jumping right into the next game. I was concerned about that last game. Usually, I think Tempo Mage is probably one of the only mage decks that has the ability to beat a warrior. Usually, in the olden days of when it was Freeze Mage versus Control Warrior in the tournament metas, Freeze Mage pretty much would have an almost impossible time dealing with warrior because warriors just gain so much armor. But Tempo Mage has a different kind of dynamic to it where it actually has the ability to punch through a lot of damage very quickly. So it's one of the matchups where mage is definitely favored there. Now, interestingly enough, we got a warrior. Pentagrast decided to try and run that back, looks like, and shaman for Pilliwinks, an aggro shaman, going super hard aggressive right now. Going to be doing 5 damage, but getting a nice trade on the armor smith there, keeping a solid board. But yeah, okay, there you go. So Whirlwind plus Fiery War Axe clears out the board decently well, and it looks like, yeah, both of these are aggro decks, definitely, because we see Finley Murgleton and Pentagrast hand, so that's kind of definitely indicative of more of an aggro type deck. He's probably going to be wanting to look for Fireball for, or the Fire Blast for the Druid Hero Power, or for Hunter Hero Power, just something to push more damage through. He gets actually very good choices here. These are actually really hard. So he's gonna go for the Druid Hero Power. I think he understands right now that he needs to control the board a little bit more to be able to out-tempo his opponent. He's unfortunately down on cards. Actually, no, he's not down on cards. He's
both of them are reasonably low on cards.
They're low on cards, but it looks like actually Pilliwinks is actually going to go up right here on cards. He's going to get 2 guys out of his 1 card, and then he's going to get a trade on the Murgleton. Now this is going to be really hard. These wolves are actually really hard to deal with.
He saved his Rockbiter weapon for later.
Yeah, maybe for saving it for the Doomhammer kill. He's just going to Hero Power, gain another armor. Straight safe play. 3 mana available though now for Pilliwinks, and I think he's just gonna opt for the Flame Tongue and then just go straight to the face. I don't think he has necessarily a reason to trade. Yeah, he doesn't really have a reason to trade, even if he's basically forcing the Fiery War Axe to go into the wolf. Now this is actually interesting. He could have had a free clear here. He could have. No,
he needed to keep his minion alive for Battle Rage, and before he did have enough armor that was preventing him from injuring himself. I actually understand a little bit with what he was doing.
Yeah, no, I can see the play that he's doing, but he did also had the option for a full clear there, but looks like this is a pretty easy Dr. 4 here. Like, it's one of the most ridiculously broken cards that Shaman's got, and that's why they're doing so well. It's like they still have Totem Shaman and Totem Golem, and they have this the 4 mana 7/7. Yeah, overload me for 2. That's fine. I don't care. I got a 7/7 on the board. That is absolutely huge, and he's gonna get such value here from these trades. He's basically gonna be. I mean, Pentagrast is gonna spawn the 1/1. Sure, whatever. Pilliwinks is just gonna go 3/3 into 1/1, 7/7 into your 7/7, and now I've gotten a 3 mana upgrade or 3 mana value on my trades, and he's gonna be in such a very dominant position. I mean, he could just now actually, since he has the wolves, he could just take the aggro route. He's probably gonna go Flame Tongue in the middle, trade into the 1/1, and just smack the face. Oh, okay, interesting. He chooses to put it in between the wolf and the golem.
He's going to throw the 7/7 into the other, therefore preventing any form of board presence.
Yep. Revenge. So Pentagrast draws a Bloodhoof, which doesn't quite help you right now, unfortunately. I mean, he's going to get an easy clear on the Now he's gonna get a clear on two of the minions here, with Rabbit and Goal and Revenge if he decides to do it. But it looks like he's just gonna opt for the big 7/7.
He's probably waiting for some of his better cards to appear right now because he just simply does not have the options.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing here is that Pilliwinks is in a position where he can trade favorably, at least into the 1/1, and then he can just go straight to the face. It looks like he's going to even get a better trade, even better trade, 7/7 into the, or 7/3 into the 7/7, and he's going to get a, you know, he just decides not to play him. He's going to hold the cards. Interesting. But he was able to get a decent amount of damage in. Has a solid board, I think. I think Pentagrast is in definite trouble here. He is going to be able to clear out the taunt, so it's going to be able to make way for other things to get through here. But what does he do? I mean, he's not going to be able to actually. I mean, he can kill the 2/2. Whoop-de-doo. You know, not the best thing in the world. Totem Golem just too strong.
Yeah, Totem Golem is a reasonable choice for almost any Warlock deck. You know, having a 3/4 for only 2 mana, not only is a good tempo play, it is just it's a very good presence. A 3/4 seems to be like the nice middle ground for all minions in this game.
Especially like 2 mana. 2 mana is having such a strong minion at 2 mana is a very hard thing to deal with. Like the decks that can deal with it effectively basically are basically priests. Yeah, pretty much. Especially like that early in the game, are pretty much like priests, or the ability to just go like slam execute on 3 or something along those lines. Now this 5/5 is pretty problematic for Pentagrast. He does have the Revenge to clear out the board, but I think Totem Golem's just kind of gonna do some solid work here. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there with one of the spectators.
And there's the Grim Patron a little late to the party.
Just a bit. But he is going to be able to clear off the Totem Golem. Earthshock's going to probably just go down onto the Patron. No sense in even leaving that thing with the potential to get any sort of advantage or value.
And the Earthshock is devastating at this point. Both players have almost no cards left in their hand, even though both characters are reasonably healthy, 29 to 21.
And that's very, very indicative of how, you know, how aggro works. You're running out of cards, and these guys are, I think they've been making solid plays throughout so far. So like they've been able to trade in with their opponent so well. Ooh, there's a Doomhammer. That's an interesting choice now that Pilliwinks needs to make. Does he go and straight just kill the Frothing Berserker before it gets even more out of hand? And I think that's probably what he's gonna do.
He's gonna have to.
Yeah. He doesn't do it.
Oh no, he's gonna be charging the. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That may be the misplay of the game, folks.
I don't know. We can see. I mean, he does have the minions current. Oh, now he's dead. He had the minions on board to actually be effective to trade into the Frothing Berserker just fine. But drawing that Bloodhoof, basically now he's essentially sealed out of the game. Like he's gonna be able to use his hero power to beef up his Frothing Berserker so hard that it's gonna be really, really difficult for Pilliwinks to kind of get back to a safe spot where he can say, okay, yeah, you don't have threats on board. But interesting choice with the Mage Hero power. Yeah, he's
kind of playing out all of his cards at
this
point.
is really, really rough. So he's gonna. Yeah, I think Pilliwinks needs to draw. He needs to draw an out right now, basically, for this Frothing Berserker. He can't attack it next turn because he will just die. He's just going to straight die.
thankfully,
he needs to draw it out. Like, he needs to draw another Earth Shock if it exists in his deck. He needs to draw a 3 damage spell. It looks like he drew the Lightning Bolt, so he did end up finding that potential out. But the Patron's going to be probably the thing that's going to get him here. The Patron showing up late to the party, I guess right now would be is the perfect time for him to show up to the party. He can trade into the Mermaids.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably late, as always. Yeah, he can make a good trade with the 1/3 and get another one. He just drew it.
Especially
Pentagrast.
if
I think
pulling out his
Pentagrast has definitely got this game sealed up. Like, there's very, very little I think that Pilliwinks can do here.
Elemental Destruction would be able to clear out the board, but that would not provide Pilliwinks with the ability to come back.
So, Pilliwinks only has 2 charges left on his Doomhammer. Lava Shock or Lava Burst not going to do it, unfortunately. It's not the AoE damage that he needed to be able to clear the game, to clear the board or just straight win the game. Yeah, Elemental Destruction pretty much was his only out there. You can't really reliably roll on Lightning Storm because Lightning Storm has the potential to deal 2 damage to the undamaged Patron, which that's not going to end well. Yeah, he basically had the 1 outer there. If it didn't exist in his deck, it's very possible that doesn't show up in his deck because he is very aggro based. Usually those are more in like your mid-rangey tempo shaman type decks.
And what I found a little interesting, we had 2 aggro decks going against each other, but yet both were fighting for control of the board rather than doing
straight face damage.
Straight face damage.
I mean, in the world of double aggro decks and aggro mirror, you're both gonna run out of gas at some point, very, very quickly. So the guy who is able to actually control the board the best in the double aggro matchup is going to be the one who's going to have the longer sustain. They're going to be able to live longer and probably win the game. Okay, I like it. Pentagrast.
Not having a very favorable mulligan there.
So I know what I think I know what Pentagrast is possibly doing. The Naga Sea Witch. So he could be going down one of 2 routes. The Naga Sea Witch he could be using for just straight value cards, so buffing up or reducing the cost of all of his higher cost cards, like we see the Iron Bark and the North Sea Kraken and the Faceless Beam. So that's the plan that he's on, it seems, and he's going to be using the Mark of Nature to actually just try and keep the Naga Sea Witch alive long enough so that he can have it stay alive so that he can play his cards out effectively. Interesting strategy. The other route that he could have been going down was the Blood of the Ancients. So it's a 9-mana 9/9 that says when you control 2 of them at the end of your turn, destroy them and morph them into the Ancient one, which is a 30/30. It is a thing that can happen. He is playing Thorson. It could be either of those, so we will have to see if he has the Ancient one in his deck.
Ooh,
good draw for him.
Very timely swipe, rather.
Very, very timely. Saves him quite a bit of damage. But it does look like Pilliwinks is taking the slow route here. He's basically not playing all the cards in his hand. He's playing 1, maybe 2 cards in his hand each turn at most. He knows that his opponent hasn't really done a whole lot, so he's trying to, save as much gas in his hand as he possibly can to deal with his opponent's threats. Interesting choice to do the Naga Sea Witch here because it is just going to die to the 5/5, but I think at this point Pentagrast is fine with that. Flame Tongue Totem, no, coming down, gonna get
not even dying to the 5/5, but to a 5. Wow.
Yeah, to the 5/1. That's kind of rough.
Well played.
Yep, 10 damage going to face. I think this is pretty much over already. Like, the only thing, like, does he live even next turn? 10, 14? No, he doesn't even live till next turn. He doesn't know his opponent has a Lava Burst in hand, but it's aggro shaman. You kind of have to expect that they're gonna have something. Whether it's some sort of charge minion or Rockbiter weapon, Doomhammer, whatever, you have to at least expect it. But there it is, clearing out the game. Turn 6, Dunzo. Pilliwinks takes down 3-1 with the aggro shaman.